She looks 19.
Can you just remember one thing at our first meeting?
You must be good to me.
Well, I'm going to be good to you.
Sure.
Why would I be otherwise?
Just make sure you be good to me.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Rochelle Tannen. It's May 27, 2023. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Memorial Day weekend. I'm going to be doing a couple videos before the end of this weekend, but I want to do a quick video sending my condolences to the late, great Tina Turner. In this video, I'm going to touch upon why I always defended Ike Turner. And for the love of God, I wish people stop comparing and bringing up Beyonce and dedications to Tina Turner. I remember Tina Turner. I was born in 1980. My first album of Tina Turner, I remember, is Private Dancer. I believe it came out in 84. But I certainly remember the What's Love Got to Do with It video, because that leather skirt she's wearing was fierce. Now, Tina Turner, for me, in my own life, her, Dionne Warwick, Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, and a couple other heavy hitters from the 80s who were entering their 40s when I was a little girl. I always looked at those as a standard of what I want to be in my 40s. Tina Turner, namely. Now, my mom died before she hit 40, so I kind of use Tina Turner as a mold, because when I hear people in the street always talking about how young they look, I don't want to look young. I care about looking decent as I get older. You're not supposed to be messed up at any age. Tina Turner and my girl Patti LaBelle are two prime examples of that. That one, the Tina Turner was beautiful to the day she left this earth, and Patti LaBelle will be beautiful till the day she leaves this earth. I was watching some past interviews and comments about what people were writing about Ike. Ike Turner, to me, and I remember What's Love Got to Do with It in 1993. I remember my dad saying how Ike Turner caught a bad deal, and I believe Ike Turner did as well. I once did a speech on black marriage here in the United States for a school I was attending, and I used Tina and Ike Turner. Even if Ike was hitting on Tina, what goes on between a married couple is their business. And What's Love Got to Do with It was a dramatization of Tina Turner's life. All that shit wasn't true. Because understand, Tina was no saint. And had it not been for Ike Turner, she would have been Anna Mae Bullock from Nutbush, Tennessee. Unknown, we wouldn't have known her. So give Ike Turner his credit. We don't know what happened between those two. And Tina Turner, make no mistake, Anna Mae Bullock was just as wild as Ike Turner was. And the presentation I gave a few years ago about black marriage, and when I was talking about Ike and Tina Turner, I know women out in the streets that'll take black eyes, and brother still live with his mama and got her EBT card in his pocket. So a lot of women of today shouldn't talk about that marriage with Ike Turner, because hey, 80s women, most of y'all can't even get a ring. We can't get a ring, so who the fuck are we to talk? 80s, 90s, and some of you 70s women. What goes on between a man and his wife is their business. And yes, I'd rather hear a good segueing into the next topic that's been bugging me. I'd rather hear about Ike Turner's impact on Tina Turner's life, because like it or not, he died with his name on her. So until she died, when people ask about Ike Turner, whether people like it or not, he was pivotal for the simply the best star we loved and grew up with. Now, at the sake of sounding like a hypocrite, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but I'm tired of seeing these reviews on like Access, and not reviews, but the coverage of Tina Turner on Access and Inside Edition, and Beyonce seems to come up. And at the sake of, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but this is why I'm going to talk about Beyonce. I made a video a few months ago about that Renaissance album, and I said it's garbage. And I didn't read the comments because I know how a lot of you Beehive people are, and all of y'all look at Beyonce as your ruler and shit. From my understanding, that Renaissance tour is garbage too. Now, a couple of shorts came across my channel, and I'm seeing Beyonce shake her butt like she's never done before. Her dancers were sloppy, to my understanding, because I'm not in the Beehive. I never would be. The young lady that's been leading her dance team for years, the sister Ashley, they had a falling out. So Beyonce hires the most white bread girl she could find with no rhythm, to be her new dance captain. Let me say this. It's not that I have a problem with white choreographers, because there's been some baddies. It's not because she's white. It's because she's white bread and has no rhythm, and it shows in the dancers. If it would have been a white girl, I forgot her name, like Janet Jackson's girl from the 90s, that soul sister has soul. So she would break them dance moves down. Beyonce, from what I saw of the first show on the Renaissance tour, is sloppy, lackluster. And her new song, her new album's fucking garbage. I don't care how much y'all put it in TikTok videos, that cuff it and all that shit. That shit's garbage, and it's showing in the Renaissance tour. I don't like Tina Turner and Beyonce being compared, because Beyonce's album Dangerously in Love will be 20 years old June 2023. Beyonce hasn't even been solo for 20 years. She's not in the same stratosphere as it like a Tina Turner. She hasn't been solo 20 years, and then from the looks of things, she's starting to fall apart on this album and this tour. We all know Beyonce for a certain precision and a certain glamour to her shows, and when her own fans are starting to say this shit, there's a problem. I had said, because of Tina Turner, and remember her from a little girl, I said this on this last video, I expected more of Beyonce. And coming her first album into her 40s. And no, I don't expect Beyonce, Britney Spears, all those women coming into their 40s that I grew up with. No, I don't want to see you twerking at 40, because y'all won't even twerk in 20 years ago when y'all was on MTV. In Beyonce's case, she made it a point to always talk about how they were covered and they didn't want to show too much skin, this and that. Beyonce never twerked. Even the uh-oh dance wasn't twerking. Now you 41 years old and you got to twerk to keep the audience interest, and y'all trying to compare this motherfucker to Tina Turner. I would say she got a good 20 more years, 30 years. Tina was in the game for 50 fucking years. Beyonce hasn't even made 20. So I wish they let Tina have her moment. Because at Beyonce's age and Tina Turner's age, Tina Turner was on the way of reinventing herself and making one of the best albums of the 80s. Now, best albums, period, that we know of. Renaissance is a shit show. Now, and I see there's rumors about her being on drugs and all that stuff. I've been saying she's an alkie for years, and it shows in her music. Since Beyonce, she's been making music. That whole album, Beyonce, was about liquor. Every song had a reference to liquor to it. So I don't know what's going on with her, but I wish they stopped comparing her to Tina Turner. I understand Tina Turner influenced Beyonce, but so fucking what? Tina Turner influenced me. And all the girls that were little girls of the 80s. She influenced us too. It's not a fair comparison. Not at all. And again, Ike being brought up with Tina is one thing, but Beyonce, they should stop doing that shit. Tina Turner was incomparable. I've been watching her old interviews. From here on out, when anyone asks me what is a woman, I'm going to say Tina Turner, because as she told a news reporter, and I have a feeling she told every man in her life, you better be good to me. That's what it is. See, black women, we need to get back into that essence of our grandmothers and great grandmothers, them gold standard women out of the 30s and 40s. You better be good to me, and that's what it's about. So shout out to Tina Turner's children, my condolences, and loved ones as well. There'll never be another Tina. I was looking for footage of her funeral. I know she went out in style. From what I read, she was in one of the, if not the most expensive car in the world, which she deserves, because Tina Turner was a class act. The women from them time, that time, from Diana Ross to Tina Turner, I really appreciate them and the art, culture, image, style, everything they contributed, not just to black culture, but culture at large, and opening up the doors to other performers and people that work behind the scenes, giving them opportunities like a lot of artists don't do today because of their own egos and arrogance. And thank them for knowing how to compose music and new sounds and not having to sample all their fucking music. That will be sorely missed, because we have very little composition with our so-called artists of today, and that's from the big wigs like a Beyonce all the way down to the newcomers. No one can seem to compose their own music, and I know it can be done, because the last one I remember composing her own music, like really having a band composing her own music, was Amy Winehouse. Rest in peace, Amy Winehouse. And if Amy could do it, Our celebrities should be doing it. Our so-called musicians and all you people aspiring to be musicians. A lot of you so-called people who do music, you have no stage presence. You have no development. You're not as disciplined, and you wonder why you can't get on, or the artists that are on don't have any longevity, like the artists of yesteryear. And I hate to break it to you, but Beyonce's one of those artists. We gonna see with Beyonce, because it seems like she's falling off a little bit. So she shouldn't be getting compared to the queen of rock and roll, simply the best, and she was the best. There's no comparison of the artists of today or the last 20, 30 years to someone like Tina Turner. And it was a very sad day. Again, my condolences. Guys, I'm out. I'll be following up with a couple more videos before Tuesday. This is Rochelle Tannen. I'm out of here.